Hey guys, this is Stephanie, and I'm Stacks on Stacks on Stacks. Hello, my friends, and I am back with a Monday Reads. I know my camera's crooked. That's better. I know I've been gone for a while, probably about 6 weeks or so, but I wanted to get this Monday Reads to wrap up. I've read 10 books in the last however many weeks since I've done my last one, and I have them here. So I am going to go over the books I have read and what I am going to be reading or am reading currently, and then I'm also going to go over some books that I did purchase as well. And I'm going to put my glasses back on because everything's blurry. Much better. So I'm going to try and keep this quick because I got a lot of books to talk about. First one I'm going to talk about, I think I talked about the first one in this series in my last reads, but I don't know. This is the Nora Roberts trilogy that my book club is reading. Valley of Silence and Dance of Gods. This one's second, this one's the third. By Nora Roberts. And I think I gave them each like maybe a 2.5. They weren't terrible, but they weren't good. I think it's the writing. I think I don't like her writing. I have read some of the in-depth books, and for some reason those are okay. Like those are more like a 3 to a 3.5, whereas these were just nah. I don't know, it drug on. I felt like it could have probably been 2 books instead of 3 books. I felt like the story, I don't know, it follows like a guy who's turned into a vampire, and his brother is sent forward in time to help save the world. He has to get his brother, and there's going to be a witch and a scribe and a blah, 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 and all these people to help. And so the first book follows 2 of those, and the next two, and they're paired up, and there's romance. But oddly enough, for a woman who's supposed to be like a romance author, the romance in these books weren't good. They weren't well written. Like, I think good romance, I think of Christina Lauren. That's who I think of when I think well-written romance. It's romance, but it's really a well-written book with a good plot and good characters, and then there's some romance. And this is more like a mediocre plot with mediocre writing, not really any, maybe 1 or 1.5 good characters, and then sex scenes like scheduled throughout the book that are awkward as all get out. So needless to say, I did not like. My candle keeps going out. I don't know what the dealio is. Next I read, this was a book club pick from like May, I think, Dangerous Alliance by Jenicky Cohen. And I didn't get it read in time for the book club, but I did finish it. And it's pretty cute. It kind of takes place in Jane Austen-esque times. And it's about a girl whose sister is getting a divorce, which is unheard of back in Jane Austen times. And so she has to find a husband to keep like the family house in the family and stuff like that. Otherwise the girl's ex-husband would get it, something like that. And also she just happens to be crazy about Jane Austen novels. So at the beginning of each chapter, it's really cute. They have like a quote from one of Jane Austen's books, and she refers to them, and the guy, the hero in the story, is like, she's like, you should read these novels. They're so good. They're by Jane Austen, or how, whatever it is. And he's like, okay, so he does. He like reads Pride and Prejudice, and then he understands when she's like, oh, that's so Darcy. He's like, oh, I get it now. So this was cute. I think I probably gave this about a 3.5, 3.6. It was very cute, and I believe it's a debut novel as well. I think it's her first one. So I did like it. I would read more by this gal as well. There were some parts in it that were a little bit slow, and the ending I did like. It was wrapped up, but I didn't feel like it was overly wrapped up, and it wasn't rushed, though it was quick, if that makes sense. So I did like this one, but on that same note, I finally finished Persuasion, which is actually by Jane Austen. This is a great one. I did enjoy this. I think I also gave this one 3.5, 3.8, something in there. I did enjoy it. It took me a while to read it. So here's the thing. If you guys have been watching my channel, but at all, with all the seriousness in the world right now, from Corona to politics to all of the anything, basically anything you're going to see on the news, it's stressful. And I don't know. I don't like the negativity. I don't do well with that. So I just leave social media sometimes. I'm off. I'm done. I'm done with it. I take it off my phone. I don't get on it. I don't watch the news. I don't know what's going on unless somebody tells me what's going on. And then I know what's going on. My husband's very good about letting me know things I need to know, but there are a lot of things I don't know. So basically, when the world gets serious like this, I tend to crawl into a little hole of rereads and chick lits and things like that because it's like comfort reading. I don't read anything serious. Persuasion's not that serious, but it's also not that light. So I put it down during the spring, locked in your house booktubeathon that we had. And then I picked it up and I finished it just like maybe a week or two ago. So I did enjoy this one. Anne, who's our heroine in this, she is no Elizabeth and she is no Emma. And those are the two I have read by Jane Austen. I will get to the other three. So I just had to kind of prepare myself for something that was a little more serious. But the end of this is so cute. And it's just so cute. It's such a cute little romance. And it's actually pretty short because once I picked it up to finish it, I finished it in less than a day. So it is a great Jane Austen. I super enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. So yeah, I like this one. I am also going to talk about a couple graphic novels. Well, 3 graphic novels that I read. I read the 8th Girl from the Other Side. I got this from L Library. And gosh, this is a really good series. I really do like it. This one was sad. I can't really tell you what the 8th book is about. The first book, this is hard to explain actually. You kind of learn as you go. Like they explain things as they go. So I'm not going to say much except there is a guy who is named Teacher. That's him. And he's caring for this girl while there is a pandemic going on that is spread through touch. And he's trying to keep her safe from this pandemic and kind of a world of like kings and queens and stuff like that. But this is the 8th edition and I just want more. I also read Mooncakes by Wendy Zhu and Suzanne Walker. And this is a pretty cute one. I think this was on somebody's TBR for like top 10 best graphic novels and manga I read last year, something like that. And I do like the art. I think the art's really pretty. It has this pinky purplish hue to it most of the time. Then sometimes it has more of a blue and greenish hue to it. So I enjoyed the art. I was okay with the story. It kind of follows a girl who is a witch, but she has hearing aids. So she has a hard time with incantations because she doesn't say things correctly. I didn't really catch that till like halfway through the book, that was an issue. And this is her friend whose name I'm totally forgetting right now. And she came back, she left for a while and then she came back and she is a they, them, not a she. So I think she was a girl, but she's also a werewolf. So basically they come back to the town where she lives and needs help with some magical things. So it's cute, it's good. I don't know, I liked the drawing style better than I liked the plot. The plot was a little like, oh, we have a problem, it's solved. And I was like, eh. Where then we have Giant Days, 2nd edition, which doesn't have a huge plot. Like the first book was just like funny little stories. This one had a little more plot. We're following these 3 girls who basically are like dorm mates in college and their journey through college and the boys they date and the things they do. And it's very funny and it's British. I believe it's British. It sounds British if it's not. Also cute. I will keep going to this series because I have enjoyed this series. I also read a book so it's called Enneagram Type 8, The Protective Challenger by Beth McCord. And I thought this was like a book. It's more like a devotional book. So it wasn't what I thought. I thought this book was going to teach me a little more about the Enneagram 8, which I'm an 8 on the Enneagram scale with a wing 9, if you know what that means. I've just been learning about Enneagram stuff, so you might see a few more Enneagram books popping up here on the channel because I'm interested to learn about it. I'm not that person who's like, oh, it's so amazing, it's the best thing ever. That's a little more like my sister. She's just like, it's so great, and everybody's a number, and I just am kind of learning about it. And I thought this would help me learn more about myself, and it kind of didn't. Like, it just rehashed things that I already knew. So it was okay. I gave it like a 3-star, but it's hard to rate something like this. Like it wasn't what I thought it was, and I don't know. I did give it a rating, though I kind of don't feel like I should have. I also, book club pick for maybe June. I don't know. Sometimes we meet in the middle of the month, and I'm not quite sure which which month it is for. Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I listened to this one because I don't have it, and they didn't have any copies available at my library, but they did have the audiobook. And I think I gave this one, I give it a 3.3 personally and a 3.8 technically. That's right, because I did like the writing. I think I would read something by Ruth Weir again. I do like suspenseful books. I don't like scary, and I don't like horror, gory books, but I can handle suspense. And I forget that I do enjoy a good suspenseful book. I really do. So the writing was good. The suspense was good. The main character, I wanted her to die most of the book. So she's in danger. And I was just like, ooh, but you could kind of kill her because she's kind of the worst. So this one, we follow a girl, I'm forgetting her name, Lo. A girl named Lo, which I think is short for Laura? I don't remember. But Lo, at the very beginning of the book, her house, apartment, flat is broken into. She is robbed and she gets hit in the face with a door. That's as far as her accosting went, but she was burgled, and that is terrifying, and she didn't feel safe in her own home, and that's kind of how it starts. And then she's a travel writer, and she is supposed to go on this boat. It's a super, super expensive boat that only has 14 rooms, and she gets one of the rooms, and everything is crazy high-end, really expensive, and she's in cabin 9, I think. And the whole point is to go experience this expensive boat, and then you review it in your magazine, and all these people are like, ooh, I want to go on the boat. So the problem is, so she goes on the boat, and then she's super paranoid because she was burgled. So she's a little unsteady already, and she's uncertain about her significant other and their relationship and where that's going. So things are happening on the boat that are suspicious, and things are going on that she's perceiving as something's going on, somebody's missing, there are things going on, bad things, and everybody else is you just need to chill. So you're kind of trying to decide the whole book, is she just a little crazy because she was accosted and burgled before she came on this trip, or is she legit onto something and something happened to this person? So you're kind of guessing the whole time. But she's kind of an idiot, and she makes bad choices, total horror movie, running up the stairs towards the scream rather than running away, and all of those things. She does all of the wrong things. And most of the book, I'm you're irritating. I just think that maybe the murderer should come after you next is what I think should happen. So just, if you like suspenseful books, you might like it. I didn't like the main character at all. So you might enjoy it a little more than I did. I also read Aurora Burning. I read this one with my friend Serenity, and I really like this one. I think I gave it a 4.8 stars, but now looking back, I'm why didn't I give it a 5-star? Because I loved this book, and I was thinking about it for weeks afterwards. Weeks afterwards, I was ooh, when's the next one come out? A year from now? Ugh. However, I loved the book. I thought it was super fun. I totally loved this whole series. It's kind of a YA sci-fi book. And this is the second one series, so I'm really not going to talk too much about it. But we have our cast of characters, and I can't talk about it. I'll ruin everything if I talk about it. But if you like sci-fi, you probably like this book. If you like YA with a little bit of sci-fi, you're going to like it. I mean, it's a lot of sci-fi, but it's still really good. And it's by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman. And if you like either of them, you're going to like this book too, because it was good. It was good. And then I did read one more with Serenity called All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. This is one that I got in a book box, I don't know, a couple months ago. And I actually really liked this one. It kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did, but I also was a little foggy on what it was actually about. I give it a 3.8 personally and a 4.0 technically. I did like the writing. And again, this is another debut author, I believe. I liked her writing. I thought it was very good. She had a very good setup for the world that we were in. I liked how she put out our parameters for magic, right out of the gate. And we had a good understanding. The main character is not stupid. I did not want her to die. She did a few little stupid things, but the majority of the time she was feisty and she's a fighter and she's smart. I liked most of the characters as well. I thought they were well written. Even our big bad is well written and well thought out, and he's not a dumb bad guy that, they beat in 4 pages because they're cause we all have teamwork and we work together. He was smart, and I liked that. So this was actually good. I don't know if it's a duology or a series, but it was pretty good. And in it, we're following a girl who is basically the princess of this kingdom, and the kingdom is made up of a bunch of islands, and each island kind of has its different magic. So healing magic's on one island, and then curse magic's on another island, and blood magic's on another. So each island kind of has its own magic. And when you're on the main island she lives on, you can have other people come in. So they have like healers and stuff like that. But it's more like a visa kind of situation. Like they're just there for a while. They're not like going to be there forever. And they definitely can't procreate with people who don't have the same magic as them. Things like that. So she's a princess and she has to like go through a trial to prove that she is worthy of being the queen of this kingdom, and things do not go as they are supposed to in the trial. So she decides that she needs to defend herself and defend like her position and be like, no, I can fix this. So she kind of escapes from jail, gets on a boat with a pirate, and has to like work with mermaids, and there's a stowaway in there too, and it is a fun ride. It is a fun book. If you like fantasy magic systems with like a little bit of a seaside pirate kick, you would probably really love this book. But if you like any of those little things, you probably enjoy it. It was good writing and it was a good time. And then I just finished Princess Diaries by Meg Cabot, book 1. I already started book 2. I don't own any of them, so I'm just getting them from the library right now. Some of them they have on audio, some of them they have on ebooks, so I'm kind of bouncing back and forth, but I don't know. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's so cute and funny. Like she keeps measuring her chest every day just to see if it changes. And I'm like, I don't think I did that at 14, but she's a very interesting 14-year-old. I would say she's a very typical 14-year-old, but she has a lot of passion and gusto. And I'm rereading the series because I think the last time I read it, there were only like 6 or 7 books out. So now there's like 11 or 12. And I'm like, well, why not read it and read it all the way through? And I can see how Mia, whatever you want to call her, can progress as a princess and as a person and things like that. So I already started the second one and it just makes me chuckle. It's very, very funny. And then I was in the mood to read Queen of Babel, which is a trilogy, and it's not YA, it's adult, but it's hilarious. And I forgot how much I liked it. I've read it years ago. I've actually probably read it a few times. And I'm actually almost done with the first one, Queen of Babel. The second one is Queen of Babel in New York, and then Queen of Babel gets hitched. Are they back here? They are back here. They're right back here. I will probably read the second and third fairly soon because it's so funny. Like this one follows a girl who is like the American Bridget Jones. She just steps in everything. She can't keep a secret to save herself, for starters. And I do have the book, but I loaned it to somebody, so this one I just listened to instead. But she can't keep a secret. So if you tell her anything, it's going to come out. And she says the only thing on her mind, she has zero filter. She thinks that she's fat all the time when she's not. She thinks that she's just such an unaccomplished mess when everybody else around her is like, no, dude, you're fine. But she just has no self-confidence. But it's a fun story. It's very chick lit as well. So you have been warned. But I thought it was cute and I liked it. I also am going to be picking up A Tyranny of Petticoats, edited by Jessica Spotswood. Now, this is a collection of short stories by a bunch of, I think, YA authors. I don't know if they have a label on what kind of authors they are or not. But Marissa Myers is in there, so I like her. And then there was another one in here, Marie Lu, which is a little hit or miss for me. Beth Revis, which I think I read one of her books and I didn't like it. That might have been it. Oh, Elizabeth Wayne. I like Elizabeth Wayne. So there's a few that I've heard of and I like, but it's a book club pick. I don't know what it's about, but I'll read it and then I can tell you what it's about. I also picked up Confessions of a Shopaholic. I picked it up a couple weeks ago and then I set it down because I was behind on all the myriad of book clubs that I'm in, and I got caught up on that. So I repicked this one up and I'm planning on finishing it maybe by the end of this weekend. I'm a quarter of the way into it now. It's a pretty quick read. And then I am hopefully going to be getting to Way of Kings soon. We made more progress on this. So Mark and I are listening to this one together. So I can only read it when I am able to have time spent with him. But we went on a road trip to Kansas City for a day. So 3 hours down, 3 hours back, about 6 hours of this when I wasn't, falling asleep. But we really only have like 7 or 8 chapters left. Like, we're kind of almost done. So I am hoping that we can work on that over the next like week or so and finish it up. And then I probably will just read the next 2 on my own and not with him because that takes more time. There are a couple other books that I've started that I might feel the need to pick up, but they're not ones that I haven't talked about already. So hopefully I can get back into the more serious book world. I'm better because I did Women in Cabin 10 and that one was a little more serious, but I just need to be a big girl and pick up some serious books and all of that stuff. I gotta be in the mood, y'all. And then I did get a couple books from Book Depository, and I took them out of their individual boxes because they like to send them all to you in individual boxes, which is funny. I did get City of Girls by Elizabeth Gilbert, which I have read Eat, Pray, Love by her before. I did like her writing style. I didn't know that it was a, you know, one of the small ones. What are those called? Pocket books? I didn't know. Oh, mass market paperback. I didn't know it was a mass market paperback. But this has been reviewed on many people's channels, and last year it showed up on a lot of people's favorites lists. So I decided I would get it and give it a shot. And then I did get the last 2 books in the Anne of Green Gables series from Book Depository, Anne of Avonlea and Anne of Ingleside, and they're just so pretty. I love them so much. So I will be doing a reread on these books most likely this year, though I don't know if I ever got past Anne's House of Dreams, so I don't think I've read Anne of Ingleside. But they had some other Ellen Montgomerys, which I also got because they were beautiful, Blue Castle, and I haven't read these. And I got Emily's Quest, Emily Climbs, and Emily of New Moon, which I think is the first one, and I haven't read any of the Emilys. So the covers are beautiful, and I'm like, maybe I will read these. So hopefully I will get to them. Same author as Anne of Green Gables. Hooray. So that is it. I'm hoping this video isn't crazy long, though I know it's going to be a little long. I just need to make sure I get on here every couple weeks and do a Monday read so that these aren't like 20 minutes, because that's what they are. Let me know what you're currently reading, something you're in the middle of, hopefully enjoying, and let me know if you've actually heard of any of these books. I'd love to know your opinion on them as well, if you read them, if you liked them, didn't like them, or any of these authors. Quite a few were debut authors, but quite a few weren't. So I would love to have a discussion with you guys in the comments. Feel free to like and subscribe and share and do all of that fun stuff. I hope you guys are having a happy and wonderful day, and I will look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Goodbye.